Galvon? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Galvon, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we have waived the repeater and we're proceeding on a lesser included of discharge of a firearm in a municipality.
Any objection?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Galvon, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of discharging of firearm in municipality, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Honor. He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is currently competent and sane at the time of the alleged offense.
Mr. Galvon, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of discharging a firearm in a municipality. Punishment is to be assessed at 131 days in the Bear County Jail, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense,
It is, Your Honor.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal with your attorney? Did you
Yeah.
understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State office takes exhibit 1 with all attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
State, you may continue to confirm. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorneys?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, the event that happened here was a fight between him and his brother. It was at his house. He fired into the ground, and apparently some neighbors thought it was something different, so they called the police.
All right. Anything you wish to say?
Mm.
Are you and your brother still
Oh,
getting along?
We're still buddies. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court will find you guilty, sentence you to 131 days in the Bear County Jail, give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything that anybody wishes to do with the weapon? State?
We would ask that it be forfeited, Your Honor. Yeah. It shouldn't be.
All right, and the weapon is to be forfeited.
Is it a good one?
Okay, so the weapon will be forfeited. We can close the record. Here's the thing, I saw what the argument was about. This is what my mom always told me when I had my first job. She said, Stephanie, don't talk about money. Don't talk about how much money you're making. In your case, don't talk about how much money you're receiving from the military or SSI or any of that, because somebody is not going to be happy. And of course, don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. When my mom was working, you know what she said? The only thing she talked about was weather and children. That's it. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Jason Gary.
For the defense,
Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Pettis.
are you Mr. Pettis?
Yes.
All right, and Deputy Laura, I think there's a ranger or somebody outside. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Pettis, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, sir.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Pettis, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yeah.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is correct.
Mr. Pettis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take into consideration night mag number 763258, 763260. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor, State Exhibit number 1 with all attachments.
No objection.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I would just respectfully request that the court follow the plea bargain agreement.
All right, sir, who is Jesse Alamanza Jr. to you?
Just a friend.
Okay. And who is Janelle Lee Lopez?
That's girlfriend.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Jesse Almanza Jr. Janelle, Janel Lee Lopez. State will take in consideration night mag number 763258, 763260. And I'll request the therapeutic community. Therapeutic community doesn't increase your time at the prison, but if you have a drug or alcohol problem and they accept you, then they may be able to help you with that. You understand? But you're gonna have to ask for it because I have no jurisdiction to force them to place you in the program. All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How many children do you have?
I have 2 little girls.
All right. So here's the thing. All of us are in a place in our life where we're trying to constantly improve, hopefully. So where you are now and you're going to prison, and I realize prison is tough. And every day that you're locked up is tough because you're not free. But at your age, you still have a chance where you can change your ways. You still have a chance where you can be in your children's life, but only if you change your ways. Because I don't think you want any of your children to stand before a judge in felony court and go to prison, right? I know you want what's best for them. So when you go to prison, work on yourself. I know it's easy to get institutionalized and get caught up with the gang issues and all of that. But when you come out into the free world, you got to 100% change your ways. And each time you end up wanting to hang around these people who are in this police report, ask yourself, you know what? Do I want to hang around these people or do I want to be with my children? Do I want to see my children? And you know, the only way you can be and see your children is if you're going to be a good influence in their life. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. May be excused.
Yes, you may be excused. The reason why we're here is, I guess he didn't show up. There was a violation report.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what was, and I have it, it's the first violation report, and it has to do with his not being in his zone. So we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 7159, State of Texas versus Stevie Stokes. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marjorie Homa for the state.
for the defense?
Kelly Piddle.
All right, and you, Mr. Stokes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're here on this violation report. Judge Herr issued a bond increase, and I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming because he didn't make it to court on,
Just signed it.
okay. All right, so my question is, it's the first violation report, and it's saying that he wasn't in his zone. And they tell you where you stopped, and they're saying that you were at the plasma center, which is outside your zone and outside the residence, and you were not given permission to stop there. So why were you there? Defense, do you want to answer that?
Judge, he did not have money to take the bus home. He went to donate plasma to get money. Pre-trial called him and said, go home, so he walked home.
All right. State, have you had a chance to review the violation report?
They, what's her name has, Judge?
That's okay.
Alan.
Yes.
So it's his first violation. I note the charge is a state jail felony.
And the state is in agreement to reinstate it, Judge.
Well, I'm not reinstating the bond. All I'm going to do is recall the warrant.
That's what I'm asking for.
And my understanding from the defense counsel, you said you've spoken to the bondsman and the bondsman is consenting to being on the bond?
Correct.
All right, and state?
Your Honor, we have no objection. I believe he did speak to Ally about this earlier.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall the warrant, but this is the conversation we need to have, Mr. Stokes. Before you go anywhere, you need to get permission. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if this occurs again, what's going to end up happening is there's not going to be a need for you to come in for us to have a hearing on you being out, you're being outside your inclusion, I'm sorry, the zone of coverage that you're supposed to be in. You understand? Is there anything that you don't understand about this?
Ma'am, can I say something?
Does your attorney, before you say something, does your attorney want you to say something?
Just, the zone is very limiting. We just asked that it would be extended maybe 2 hours for him to work, as well as to provide plasma so he can make additional money. They
All right.
just, the time period that they give him to get to McDonald's where he works and get home, he's just not making enough money to provide for himself and his family.
All right, I'll hear that whenever we have a chance to have the pretrial services officer zoom in, but now, where we're at now is this part. You understand?
And as the court's aware, pretrial, they're impossible to get a hold of to get your time extended, so.
Oh, no, we'll zoom them in, just set it for
I
him.
mean, for him to get a hold of them to extend his time,
Oh,
they
oh.
never answer.
But here's the thing, this is what I always tell people. I'm sure when you call pretrial services, because I've called them before, and they don't pick up, it just doesn't cut you. You can leave a message.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, if you don't leave a message, it's like you never called. You got to leave a message. And take your notebook and write down, this is the time I left this message. You understand? So I'm going to ask that the warrant be recalled. Is there anything else?
That's it.
All right. All right, then the record is closed.
Thank you.
Deputy Laura, they're going to recall the warrant. As soon as it's in the system, they'll let him go. Stevens? I'm sorry, Stephen Matthews. I keep doing that. All right, so attorneys, the person before me, they think it's going to help them because they have been accepted to Texas Tech University. I'm like, why are you not with the SEC? What's going on? Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's like worried. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm so
no.
put in for SEC school. I don't know.
I thought about LSU, but it's out of state.
You shouldn't have even said anything about that. You should have just like, I'm not gonna say anything. All right, so how are we doing? So he wants the travel request, correct?
Okay, so there are a couple of issues,
Okay.
Judge.
Got to solve issues.
Mr. Matthews has been on probation a little bit over a year. During this time, there have been a few failure to submit positive diluted marijuana. And then there was last month a negative diluted marijuana. However, he was tested in court today and it tested positive for THC. There is 150 community service hours left for him to complete. However, he hasn't started those hours because he works full-time and he's been in college full-time. Right now, he's taking 12 credit hours each semester.
Oh, well, that's our required, at least 12 hours.
Yes, Judge. So he's completed his theft program. He didn't qualify for any mental health services. Everything else he's completed. He's making payments, regular payments toward his fees. So the issues that we're having right now is the THC use, the community service hours, which Judge, I don't know if you want to consider giving him any type of credit for those hours.
Well,
And
I'll give
then-
him community service hours credit for school, which I always like for people to be improving themselves, either going, seeking a higher degree or either in some type of trade school. So I'll give him credit for that.
Okay, Judge, and as you can see, he does have a letter indicating he's going to be going to Lubbock in August, I believe, maybe, for school. Another issue that's come up was last week, he submitted a letter asking to go visit his grandfather in North Carolina because his grandfather is gravely ill at this time. That's what's going on.
All right, let's unpack your issues. First of all, with the marijuana use, I know young people and other people like, what's the big deal with marijuana? Believe it or not, I've never used marijuana in my life. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. And you know why I never did? Because people would say cigarettes are bad for you. And people would say, but you know, it's an acquired taste. And I would be, why would I require a taste for something that's bad? Right? People don't do that with broccoli. Oh, just continue to try and broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and then you can acquire a taste for it. People are like, no, that's supposed to be healthy for you. And let me just tell you a little bit about my experience. I've known people, I'm not even going to mention names, who have come to me, and sometimes, you know, they would walk there like, ah, this is the perfect weather for sitting on the balcony, like in college, and smoking marijuana. There's something about the weather. They're like, when the weather is, you know, about 60 degrees, they say, this is a great time to smoke marijuana. It brings back great memories for them. Here's the problem. You're on probation. On probation, you're not allowed to use marijuana, period. On probation, guess what? You're not allowed to drink alcohol, period. You can't drink it in your house. You can't drink it on vacation. You're just not allowed to. These are the things that are required while you're on probation. These are not my rules. This is the law. If you want to talk and change the law where you can use marijuana while you're on probation, you need to talk to your legislature. If you want to change the law where you can drink alcohol while you're on probation, you need to call your legislature. That's not in my purview. My purview is just unfold your arms. I'm sorry, that's okay. My purview is just to follow the rules that have been set and follow the laws that have been set. Do you understand?
Yes.
So here's the thing. If you want to go to Texas Tech, guess what? You need to go there sober. And your school starts there when?
I move in, I'm supposed to move in August 16th.
All right, let me tell you something. You're not going to Texas Tech on August 16th unless you give me clean UAs. And from this point forward, your levels need to start going down. Because let me just tell you some of your consequences that you're looking at. If you come back before me with the dilute, we're not going to be having this conversation this way. You know how we're going to end up having this conversation? You're going to be brought over from jail with the people you see in the box. They will either put you in orange or red, hands off hips. They will either put you in orange or red or whatever classification you have. Either your parents or your relatives are going to bond you out. If they don't bond you out, we'll bring you over. Deputy Laura, Deputy Mejia will bring you over. Yes.
I desperately need to use the bathroom. I think I'm about to be myself.
Okay, he needs to use the restroom. He's getting a little nervous for us.
No,
So,
it's not that.
Make it happen. This is what's going to end up happening. You are not going to Texas Tech unless you provide me with a valid negative UA. And I'm going to put you on the UA hotline, and your levels had better start going down. If your levels are not going down, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people come before me and they think they're young. They're trying to look at me like Puss in Boots from, you know, Shrek, where everybody look in his eyes and then it's like, oh, but you're in an adult court. You understand?
Sure.
So your levels, if you want to go to Texas Tech, that's completely up to you. And you know why it's up to you? Because the way that you can go there is if your levels go down. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what friends you're hanging around with. I don't know. It seems like your day, you don't have enough to do, obviously, because you're using marijuana. That it better stop. And there better not be any more dilutes. And I'm sure probation has explained to you that when you drink a lot of water, you're diluting. And a lot of people drink a lot of water because they're thinking, oh, maybe the water will make it give me a negative. And all it does is just shows it's been diluted. You understand?
Yes, sir.
State. He wants to visit his grandfather. He says his grandfather is dying. Do y'all have any objections to that? I know Judge Herr was here. And I think what she said, that she wanted verification of GPS or something.
No, she wanted documentation of of the situation that was going on with his grandfather.
All right, do we have documentation?
No, I do not.
All right, if you don't have documentation, it's not happening.
Okay.
All right, so you need to get documentation for that. So whether or not you visit your grandfather, you say you want to visit him, depends on you providing documentation. Whether or not you go to Texas Tech, depends on you having negative UAs. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And if you don't do that, you know what's going to end up happening with regards to Texas Tech? you're gonna end up going to the Bear County Jail and a motion to revoke. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is there any confusion on my instructions?
No, Your
All right,
Judge, for the documentation, if he provides that to his officer, do you require another supplementary report or can we go ahead and let him go?
no, he can go.
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Honor.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 0251A, State of Texas versus Emily Christian Casillas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel, that's 12 in the state of Texas.
Defense. And are you Ms. Casillas?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did.
Are you the same Emily Christine Casillas who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0251A for the offense of possession of a controlled substance less than a gram
Yes, ma'am.
on April 7th, 2021 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Your Honor, violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Emily Christine Casillas, defendant there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May and June 2022 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, the state waives all the violations.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 180 days in the state jail facility and up to $100 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Your Honor, both sides are going to go this report.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, the state's requesting 180 days of revocation.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, she hasn't gotten in trouble in a long time. I know that she also hasn't reported, but she hasn't gotten in any trouble during that time. She is employed, actually self-employed, renovating houses. She has a place to live when she's released from jail or the state jail. She has 77 days in jail on this case. We're asking the court to consider giving her judgment satisfied on 1244 77 days. She is not eligible to remain on probation because more than a year has elapsed since her probation expired.
All right, Ms. Casillas, is there anything you wish to say?
No.
All right, so the last time we're here, it was for failure to report.
Correct.
So we're back again for failure to report. I mean, you're not doing probation. So I'm gonna grant the motion, revoke. I'm gonna sentence you to the 180 days in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served.
Your Honor, can I convince you to give her 1244 punishment on the 180 days?
State,
Again, Your Honor, that's what she signed on for whenever she agreed to probation. This is our second NTR, and it is the second one for not reporting.
all right. Then that will be denied. It's gonna be 180 days in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $100 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
Yes.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, this is not a plea bargain agreement. You do have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegation in the motion, not the fact that you are on probation. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. I tried. That's all I can do. This is the second time that you're here for not reporting. That's the simplest of things to do. And I know I told you that if there were any issues with your life, any issues with probation, you can always come back to court and address it. You understand? So when you get out of the state jail facility, if there are issues in your life with drugs or anything else, you can always come back to this court if I'm here. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Okay.